so that didn't change.
Thank you.
No, you're good.
Like, after we talked to you last night, Steph said he felt like you guys carried over, even with the week off from that Portland game, and came out and kind of established what you wanted to. What's your take, a day later on the tempo you guys had?
Yes.
Yeah, Steph said even after a week's layoff, he felt like you guys carried over from that last Portland game and established your tempo right away. What was your take, a day later, looking back at the film?
Yeah, we did some good things last night, but we obviously feel like we could still play better. Like, I'm sure they do too. But having that week off and trying to find a rhythm throughout the course of the week and going in for a game one against a well-coached team and a very good team, I thought it was more like a business win. We did what we needed to do to get the win.
When you say you can still play better, what do you mean by that?
There were a few areas that we feel we can get better in. Like, our transition defense wasn't the best, throughout the course of the night, and in our pick and roll coverages, at times we blew a couple of assignments, and offensively might have been able to move the ball a little bit better from time to time. So just our overall flow could have been a little bit better, but our guys were great because they approached it the right way, which resulted in us getting a win.
Mike, can you remember a time of the season that a team that had a 3-game run like this with turnovers, taking care of the ball so well?
Steve, I hope you're watching this. We had, I think, a total of 24 turnovers in the last 3 games. That's an area I'm doing a lot better than you. I've gotten the point across to our guys a lot better. But I haven't seen it. It's been phenomenal what our guys have done the last 3 games. And Steve, again, I said this a lot. And I remember sitting in our coaches' meetings and going on our coaches' retreats and Steve just hammering away at, hey, with the team that we have, if we win the possession game, and not just turnovers, but that includes free throws and offensive rebounds for the other team, then it's going to be tough for teams to outscore us because of the firepower that we have offensively. He hammered it home to us as coaches on the retreat. He hammered it home to the guys during training camp, and he's been consistent with that message the entire year. And it's good to see, our guys taking heed to it, especially at this time of the year, against very good playoff teams.
What are the reasons that they've been high during the regular season? Obviously, it's the pace that you guys planned, but did anything change? Anything really click these last 3 games? The fact that the turnovers have come way down.
I just think it's our guys just being a little bit more conscious of what we need to do offensively to help get wins. Obviously I was joking. I'm not really. I'm preaching the same message. We're doing the same thing. And our guys are just taking heed to it right now and doing a phenomenal job of really protecting that basketball.
You should go ahead and take the credit.
I'm taking the credit, Steve. They think I should take the credit. I'm going to take the credit.
Have you talked to Steve since?
Yeah, matter of fact, so Steve and I talked last night and had a great talk after I got home, and then we called him this morning and he didn't answer. So then we called his wife and she answered. She goes, "Okay, I'll get him to call you back." So he calls us back a few minutes later, and before we could say anything, the first words out of his mouth are, "Geez, can't you guys figure it out?" You're like, you're our coach, We want to make sure we're doing it right, And so it was good. But we talked to him, during our coaches meeting before coming out here.
Did he have any message, specifics on how you guys can play a little better?
Yeah, he thought it was a good win for us. He thought we did some nice things, but he was one of the people that had mentioned that hey, it's game one. Everybody's excited about playing game one. They're a veteran team. They're going to come back and play better in game 2. And if we let our guard down, we can be in a whole lot of trouble. So we have to make sure that we're locked in, especially defensively, and we continue keeping the game simple offensively.
When you looked at the stat sheet, David West West, played 18 minutes and led the team with 7 assists. What were you thinking when you saw that?
That was not necessarily shocking, but it was good to see. Because David, I think, prides his game, especially offensively, on passing the basketball. And he's always been a good passer, but as he's aged or, as the years have mounted with him being in the league, he's kind of evolved into that. Originally, he was a post-up guy. He throwing the ball down there. Then he got to a point later in his career where he became an elbow jump shooter. And now he still hovers around the elbow, but he wants to distribute the ball. Having said that, we still have plays for him to shoot the jumper at the elbow, and we still have post-up plays for him. So to see him lead the team in assists like that is fun. And on top of that, I think Draymond was second, and then Andre, who we play at the power forward quite a bit, was third.
Mike, what is great for that defensive unit? I mean, you obviously have Sean, who's a really good defender, but it seems like Ian maybe gives you a little more offense, and he has some sort of kismet with David West right now in those cuts.
Well, see, I was about to say, so that second group of David at the 5, Draymond, Andre, Clay, and Ian, it's really good for Ian because, he's a good shooter. And when you have those other guys on the floor, sometimes they tend to forget about a guy like Ian Clark or even Pat McCaw, and you're going to get some open looks. You're going to get some open looks from range. Now you couple that with, we just talked about it, our 3 assist leaders are in that group from last night. And so if you're able to move without the basketball, you're going to get fantastic looks also, because all those guys are willing passers. Not only are they willing passers, but more importantly, they're capable passers. And so that's why Ian fits with that group offensively. He can shoot from range, and then he moves well without the ball. We got 3 guys that want to distribute that basketball.
Draymond's pretty pesky.
Yeah, I mean, and then that's a great defensive group. Clay's got size, and he dogs the ball very well. D. West is smart, but he's very, very physical. Draymond's Draymond, and then Andre's Andre, and so it's a good defensive group. And then Ian does a great job of getting into the ball too, especially anytime anybody is a hand.
It seems like Draymond's reached another level both offensively in the playoffs. What is it that you've noticed that's been different, just on those 2 fronts for him in the playoffs compared to the end of the regular season, especially?
I agree. He's always been active, but I don't even know how it was possible. His activity has gone up another notch or 2, especially defensively. Offensively, he's done a phenomenal job. One of the things that we always want him to do offensively, because he brings the ball a lot for us, which results in him being at the top of the floor, or he trails to the top of the floor. We love him in that spot, but we want him to continue mixing up, sometimes setting pinaways, sometimes staying there so he could be the ball reversal guy, and or with his guy being down the floor so much, that ball gets reversed to him and he's got a shot, we want him to let it go. And so he's done a phenomenal job of mixing that up throughout the course of the playoffs. And we even showed the team a couple of clips where he goes set a pin away, and he's setting a pin away on Clay or Steph, and those guys are jumping, those guys coming to the top of the floor, and he's gotten a couple of slips to the rim for layups. So his activity on both ends of the floor has been phenomenal, and his ability to communicate defensively has been great. And then with Steve out, both he and Andre and David have done a nice job of stepping up and continuing to provide leadership and input to us coaches.
Has he ratcheted, those 3, have they really ratcheted up on that front, being vocal leaders in Steve's lineup? In what way? Like in meetings, or how do you see it?
Meetings, on the floor, when we're walking through stuff, coming up and talking to me individually or with other coaches. So they've been really good helping us out.
Where'd you guys go for that coaching?
We went to Napa.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was really
Could be
nice.
worse.
Not a bad life.
Yeah.
Mike,
Thank you, Joe.
during the playoffs, it's a week off, and then you kind of get back into a rhythm. Your turnover, is the fact that these guys have been together so long that it allows them to maybe jump back into a game after a week off and still be able to maintain the low turnover total?
I think they're a veteran group that's very intelligent. Again, I go back to, it's just a message Steve's been preaching since training camp, and they know how important it is, especially now when it comes to possessions. And so those guys are doing a good job of taking care of the ball. And, it was very good to see us do that, like you said, after having a week off. So I applaud them for it.
Mike, what is
It's a unique perspective because he's not with us all the time, but he's got a tremendous feel for the game. He's got a tremendous feel for individuals, not only on our team, because he doesn't just watch our team, he watches other teams and other players also. And then he's played against a lot of these guys, or he's played against the coaches. And so for him to come in, when he does and spend time with us as coaches, giving us input, telling us what he saw throughout the course of the previous couple of games, and then working with our individual players has been a huge positive for us.
Mike, apologize. What was the diagnosis with Curry's ankle, and any concern going forward with that at all on the extra treatment?
No concerns. It's just, he's the guy that constantly gets maintenance, which, he should. Not only him, most of our guys do a good job with that. So that's all it was last night. He's definitely good to go tomorrow.
So he was full go today and everything?
Yeah, we set him out today, but he could have gone today. But just like last night, I put him back in the game. He could have played. The reason why I took him out so quickly had nothing to do with any injury or anything like that. It was just a matter of me looking at the score and realizing that Quinn had just taken out basically all of his guys and feeling like that we could finish the game with him on the bench.
How big is it having a guy like Ron? Been around a long time, but is totally fine stepping aside and having you take that acting head coach role. He's been around for a while.
No, it's phenomenal. The experience that he has, and not only that, when you have a guy that has been through a lot of games, there's a certain poise and calmness that he has about himself that carries over to everybody else. So you appreciate that. At any time throughout the course of the game, especially if it's a close game, he's not going to be rattled. He's going to be thinking about the next step or the next two steps, and so I feel like I can always go to him regardless of what the circumstances are, and he'll be ready with an answer.